Sometimes the creepiest stories, the ones that really get under your skin, they start with something totally ordinary.
Oh, absolutely. Mundane beginnings.
Exactly. Like this one. It starts back in 2012. Someone's just, killing time, browsing Google Maps, looking at some random village in Britain.
Just scrolling. We've all done it.
Totally.
Right.
And then they spot it. In this garden, there's this weird, long T-shaped shadow just there.
The T-shape. And that's the hook, isn't it? This one little visual oddity that just plants a seed.
It does, and it spirals over like more than a decade. Their first thought, it looks like a really big scarecrow.
Okay. Plausible, maybe. Bit weird for a residential garden, but...
Kind of. But here's the thing, those satellite pictures, they're usually taken around midday, high sun.
Right, so shadows should be pretty short, generally. Minimal.
Exactly. So a long shadow like this one, it already stands out. It's unusual.
That's a really good point. It's like a small detail that doesn't quite fit the expected pattern, something your brain flags, even subconsciously.
And it must have. Because even though they were just a teenager, they kind of forgot about it for a while.
Life moves on.
Yeah. But then, flash forward to 2016, they're chatting with a friend, talking about internet mysteries, weird online finds.
Oh yeah, those rabbit holes.
Totally. And suddenly, bam, the T-shadow memory pops back up. So they pull up Google Maps again, find the same spot, and things had changed. Now, there wasn't just one shadow, there were two. The original big one, and a new, smaller T-shaped shadow next to it.
Whoa, okay, so it's not static. Something's happened there. That definitely ramps up the intrigue.
It does. The friend they were with pointed something out too, something logical. This house, it wasn't actually on the nearby farmland. It was just a regular house in the village.
So the scarecrow theory starts to look even weaker.
Right. Why would a normal house need one scarecrow, let alone two specific T-shaped ones? It doesn't quite add up.
That simple question changes everything, doesn't it? It pushes you past the easy explanation. Makes you wonder what else it could possibly be.
Definitely shifts from, weird, to, actually puzzling. Then, jump again, another 3 years, 2019.
Okay.
The friend brings it up again. Maybe check one last time before they just let it go.
Curiosity lingers.
So they look. And this time, this time it was genuinely disturbing. The second shadow, it had grown. It was now the same size as the first one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So identical shadows now.
Yeah. And that was the tipping point.
Yeah.
The user said the curiosity just snapped.
Yeah.
Turned into actual fear. They even remembered the friend giving this really forced, unnatural laugh.
Yeah, that kind of laugh tells you everything. It's discomfort. It's the brain's struggling to process something deeply unsettling. The growth implies intention, purpose.
Exactly. Not random anymore. Someone made the second one match the first. And it was the friend then who said, we should go there.
Go there, in person.
Yeah. Drive the hour or so to the village, see it with their own eyes. He argued that, satellite images, street view, they weren't enough, especially with these really tall hedges around the house.
It is blocking the view. Okay.
But the user was really hesitant by now, getting a bad feeling, like a really strong gut sense that something was just profoundly wrong.
That tension is classic, isn't it? The pull towards finding answers versus that primal instinct screaming, danger, stay away.
It really is. But despite the dread, they went. They drive there, find the village, the house, ordinary red brick, but totally hidden behind these massive hedges, completely obscured.
Creates a sense of isolation, secrecy.
And silence. The user described it as this oppressive, all-consuming silence. The whole atmosphere just felt wrong, heavy.
The environment itself setting the stage, that's powerful, even before you see anything.
Then the friend drops the bombshell. He reveals he brought a drone. It's in the boot.
So that was his plan to get past the hedges.
Yeah. The user was really against it. Felt like snooping, invading privacy. But they admitted it was better than physically trespassing.
I suppose. A difficult choice.
So, okay. Reluctantly, they agree. The drone goes up. They're watching the feed on a tablet. And then they see it. What's actually casting those shadows?
And it wasn't scarecrows.
No. It was two people tied to huge wooden crosses, maybe crucifixes, the user thought. Just horrific.
Oh my God, that changes everything, instantly. From weird mystery to active horror scene, the shock must have been immense.
Unimaginable. And the details from the drone, they're awful. There's an adolescent boy struggling, and he had the word spawn torn into his t-shirt, torn through the fabric and into his skin, bloodied.
Jesus. Spawn.
And on the other cross, the original one, was a woman, described as looking like bundles of straw. Limbless, apart from her upper arms, tied up with rope, and she had the word whore cut into her clothes and skin, just like the boy.
Horror. The deliberate cruelty, the words, it's ritualistic, dehumanizing, and they were alive.
They were alive, both of them. The user and the friend just froze, completely paralyzed, couldn't even speak.
I can't even begin to imagine witnessing that, the psychological impact.
And then somehow it gets worse. The friend, maybe in shock, flies the drone closer.
Oh, no.
Maybe trying to get a clearer view, I don't know. But as he does, they hear it. A loud bang. A gunshot.
On a drone.
Yeah. The feed cuts out instantly. They see the drone just tumble down into the garden. And then up at a window, second floor, they see him. A broad, bulky man, holding something that looked like a double-barreled shotgun or rifle.
Okay, confirmed presence, confirmed threat, lethal force.
They didn't need telling twice. Scrambled back into the car, floored it. Just got out of there. Panic.
Pure adrenaline, survival instinct kicking in, understandable.
But once they were driving away, clear of the immediate danger, their reactions were totally opposite. The friend's yelling, panicked, obviously. But then he says they should go back.
Go back? Are you serious? Why?
His logic, if you can call it that, was that the guy would be busy dealing with the crashed drone, hiding evidence maybe, that they had a window to go back and get actual photos, proof.
That sounds incredibly reckless, borderline irrational, given what just happened.
The user thought so too. Absolutely refused. Said they needed to call the police. Right now. That had to be the priority.
The much more sensible reaction, clearly.
But the friend, somehow he talked the user around. Convinced him he agreed. Yeah, police first. They drive on a bit, need petrol. They pull into a station.
Okay.
The user goes inside to pay. And while they're inside, the friend just drives off.
Yeah.
Leaves them there.
Why? He just abandoned them.
Just gone. Vanished. Took the car, left the user stranded at a petrol station, miles from anywhere, having just witnessed that.
That's unbelievable. The betrayal on top of the horror. Why would he do that? Fear! Covering his own tracks. It's baffling.
We don't know. But the user is left completely alone. Eventually, they managed to call the police, explain everything.
And the police response?
Well, they did go out. They searched the property, Mr. Tomlinson's place.
Okay, good.
But they found nothing. Absolutely nothing. No crosses, no people, no sign of the drone, no evidence a gun was fired, nothing.
Just as the friend feared might happen if they waited. Cleaned up.
Seems like it. Mr. Tomlinson apparently just waved away the old satellite images. So, oh, those are just some old statues I got rid of ages ago.
Statues.
Right.
And the police.
Well, they seem to accept it. Maybe the satellite image was old, they figured. Case closed on that front.
That feels insufficient. Dismissive, almost, given the severity of the claim.
It does. They did check the petrol station CCTV, so they confirmed the user was with the friend, Oliver, earlier.
So they knew that part was true.
Yeah. But initially, they kind of brushed off Oliver's disappearance. Suggested maybe they'd had an argument, he just needed to cool off.
Minimizing it.
It took 2 full days before they started taking the disappearance seriously, when he still hadn't shown up. But even then, more searches at Tomlinson's place turned up 0. No evidence against him.
Absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence, though. Especially if someone's had time to cover their tracks. Still very troubling.
So time passes. The pandemic hits. The user feels like no one really believes the core of their story, so they start digging themselves.
Doing their own research.
Yeah, into the local area, this village. Turns out, a woman and a local farmer had both gone missing back in 2011. Vanished without a trace.
2011. Okay, that puts the original shadow sighting in 2012 into a potentially much darker context.
Exactly. Could they be connected? The user starts thinking, maybe the first shadow was linked to them.
It's a chilling possibility, a pattern.
They even managed to get into a local community Facebook group, pretending to be new to the area just to see what people were saying.
Recover online.
And they found some old gossip about the missing farmer. Apparently he's a widower, started seeing someone new, an out-of-towner. And some locals didn't like that, resented it.
Small town dynamics, outsider resentment, could be relevant.
And user thought so too.
Yep.
Took this info to the police, hoped it might connect dots, maybe explain a motive if Tomlinson was involved somehow. Same response, stonewalled, basically ignored. And this is when the user starts getting this really dark feeling. What if the local police are just too embedded, too close-knit with the community, maybe unwilling to dig too deep or worse?
Implicit, protecting one of their own.
That was the fear. A really disturbing thought, that this quiet village might be hiding something awful, and the system meant to protect people was somehow part of the problem.
That elevates the fear to a whole new level. It's not just one dangerous individual, but potentially a conspiracy of silence.
And then in 2020, the fear becomes incredibly direct. They start getting notes, pushed through the letterbox, anonymous.
Oh God. Notes, what did they say?
The first one just said, "I watched too."
Chilling. Direct intimidation.
Then another one, "Nobody will ever, 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 ever find them." That repetition.
Emphasizing the permanence, the certainty. Horrifying.
And the third one, "Don't come back, you'll come forth."
Fourth, oh no.
This, understandably, completely breaks the user. They develop severe agoraphobia, terrified to leave the house, constantly afraid Tomlinson is out there watching, waiting.
Trapped by fear, unable to even look for their missing friend Oliver. The psychological torture is immense.
Totally just paralyzed. And then, early 2023, that final note clicks into place. You'll come forth. They'd sort of dismissed it, maybe thought it was a typo for fourth.
But now they reconsider the number, 4th.
Yeah, and with this horrible dread, they force themselves to look at Google Maps one last time. The most recent satellite image available from Mr. Tomlinson's garden.
And what did they see? Please don't say.
Three T-shaped shadows.
Oh, God. 3. implying Oliver's the third.
That's a horrifying conclusion. The silent confirmation on the map.
So the user's still out there, living with this.
Living in constant fear. Terrified that returning or even being found means they will become the fourth shadow. Too scared to go back, too scared to know for sure, but haunted by what they saw and what that third shadow represents.
So we're left with this awful trajectory. An idle click on a map leads to witnessing potential torture, a friend vanishing, and now this constant paralyzing threat hanging over the user's life.
And so many unanswered questions. Who were those people on the crosses? Was the missing woman and farmer from 2011 the first victims? What did spawn and whore signify? And what really truly happened to Oliver?
The implications of potential local complicity, the police inaction, it just adds layers of darkness, suggests something deeply rotten hidden beneath the surface of that ordinary village.
It really does. It leaves you with that final, just deeply chilling image, doesn't it? Those 3 shadows. And the user's absolute terror of becoming number 4.
It makes you think about how much we don't see, even with all our technology, how vulnerable we are when relying on just that remote view.
Definitely. So maybe the final thought here is, we can look anywhere on Google Maps, see almost any place on Earth from above, but how often do we really consider the dark stories that might be unfolding right there, in plain sight, but utterly hidden from that digital perspective? What are the limits and maybe the dangers of seeing the world only from a distance?